Divers were surrounded by equipment, masks, fins, regulators, cylinders, dive computers, buoyancy compensators, lights. From the outside, they may have appeared prepared. But preparation is not measured by how much equipment a diver carries. It is measured by whether that equipment can solve the problems created by the environment, and the environment these divers entered was not an ordinary recreational dive site. It was a deep underwater cave. There was rock above them, darkness ahead, fine sediment below, a complicated route behind them, and no direct ascent to the surface. In that environment, a standard open-water scuba configuration does not become cave equipment simply because it is carried into a cave. Today, we are examining the protective systems reportedly missing from the Maldives dive, the continuous guideline, redundant breathing gas, redundant regulators, adequate lighting, a realistic decompression strategy, cave-specific team procedures, and a gas plan designed not merely for a perfect dive, but for the worst credible emergency. We will also examine why the operating license of the MV Duke of York was suspended, what investigators may be reviewing, and why this disaster has forced the diving industry to confront a difficult question. Who had the responsibility to stop this dive before anyone entered the water? Let us begin with the guidelines. In open water, a line may be optional equipment. Inside a cave, it is one of the most important life support systems a diver has. A cave guideline begins in open water or at a secure point where the exit is unmistakable. The diver carries a reel into the cave and installs the line along the route. The line must be positioned so it does not become easily trapped, cut, buried, or tangled. As the team moves forward, every diver remains aware of its location. If visibility disappears, they do not need to see the exit. They locate the line. Establish physical contact, determine the exit direction, and follow it back toward open water. This is not a theoretical emergency procedure. Cave divers practice it repeatedly. They train while wearing masks that have been blacked out. They learn to share gas while maintaining contact with both the guideline and another diver. They rehearse regulator failures, lost line situations, lost diver situations, light failures, restrictions, and total silt-outs. The reason is simple. Inside a cave, the emergency is not over merely because the diver has started breathing from a teammate's cylinder. Both divers still have to navigate outside. Without a line, even a successful gas share can end with two divers breathing together while swimming in the wrong direction. According to accounts emerging after the Maldives recovery, the original group did not maintain a continuous cave guideline to open water. If that is confirmed, the group entered an environment capable of destroying visibility without preserving a physical route home. That single omission may have transformed every later problem. A hidden corridor becomes harder to find, a silt-out becomes disorienting, a wrong turn becomes difficult to reverse, a light failure becomes more dangerous, a low-gas emergency becomes almost impossible to manage. A guideline would not guarantee survival. Lines can break, divers can lose contact, poorly installed lines can create entanglement hazards. But without one, the group was depending primarily on eyesight and memory, and the cave was capable of defeating both. The second issue is breathing gas redundancy. Reports have described members of the group using single-cylinder scuba configurations. A single cylinder may be standard for many recreational open-water dives. If a regulator fails, the diver can receive gas from a buddy and make a controlled ascent. Inside a deep cave, there is no immediate ascent. A regulator failure does not occur beneath a clear route to the surface. It occurs beneath rock. The affected diver must share gas while the team swims horizontally through the cave, reaches open water, completes the ascent, and observes whatever decompression obligations have accumulated. That journey may take far longer than a direct ascent. Technical cave divers therefore plan for equipment failures instead of assuming they will not happen. They commonly use configurations that preserve independent access to breathing gas. Depending on the environment and training, this may involve back-mounted doubles with an isolation manifold, side-mount cylinders, stage cylinders, rebreathers with bailout gas, or other redundant systems. The exact equipment varies. The principle does not. No single failure should remove the diver's entire breathing supply. Now, consider the depth. At around 60 meters, surrounding pressure is approximately 7 atmospheres absolute. A diver consumes gas from a cylinder much more rapidly than at the surface because every breath is delivered at ambient pressure. If a diver's surface breathing rate is 20 liters per minute, the theoretical consumption at that depth becomes approximately 140 liters per minute before stress or exertion is considered. A diver working hard may breathe much faster. A frightened diver may breathe faster still. A single 12-liter cylinder filled to 200 bar contains roughly 2,400 liters of gas at the surface, but not all of that is available. A responsible plan requires reserves. It must account for the exit. It must account for ascent. It must account for decompression. And in a team environment, it should account for the possibility that another diver loses access to gas. This is why cave divers use rules such as thirds or even more conservative gas limits. 1 portion to enter, 1 portion to leave, 1 portion reserved for an emergency, but even that simplified rule must be adapted to the depth, cylinder configuration, number of divers, breathing rates, decompression obligation, restrictions, current, and route complexity. A group of 5 presents another challenge. If one diver loses gas, which teammate donates? Can the donor support the affected diver all the way through the cave? Can the rest of the team remain together? Can they pass through a narrow section while sharing? Does every diver have enough gas to survive the delay? Gas planning for a perfect dive is easy. Gas planning for a simultaneous silt-out, wrong turn, and out-of-gas emergency is much harder. Yet emergencies do not occur one at a time simply because the plan considered them separately. The third issue is decompression. A deep cave dive is not only an overhead dive, it may also be a decompression dive. The longer divers remain at depth, the more inert gas their bodies absorb. They may no longer be able to ascend directly to the surface without an increased risk of decompression sickness. They must follow a controlled ascent and complete stops. This creates a cruel contradiction during an emergency. The divers need to conserve gas, but they may also need gas to complete decompression. The fastest route to the surface may injure or kill them. The safer decompression route may require gas they no longer have. Technical divers plan this before entering the water. They calculate the expected profile, they select appropriate breathing mixtures, they carry adequate supplies, they prepare contingency schedules for delays or deeper-than-planned excursions. They determine what happens if decompression gas is lost. They do not wait until the cylinder pressure is falling inside the cave to decide how the ascent will work. Reports surrounding this case have repeatedly raised questions about whether the group possessed a formal technical decompression plan appropriate to the depth and overhead environment. That remains an important subject for investigators. Dive computers may calculate decompression requirements, but a computer is not a complete plan. It cannot create additional gas, it cannot locate a hidden exit, it cannot install a missing guideline. It cannot provide an independent regulator after a failure, and it cannot guarantee that 5 divers with different profiles will all receive compatible instructions. The fourth issue is lighting. Inside a true cave environment, a light is not a convenience. It is part of life support. A single light can fail, a battery can die, a switch can malfunction, a torch can be dropped, a beam can become useless in heavy silt. Cave divers therefore carry multiple independent lights. The typical principle is 1 primary light and at least 2 backups for each diver. Not two lights for the entire group. Not one strong light held by the leader. Each diver needs independent illumination because separation can happen. The lead diver may disappear around a corner. A restriction may force the team into single file. One person's light may fail while the rest of the team is ahead. And if the group's shared lighting is inadequate, the failure of one or two devices can place everyone in darkness. Even working lights cannot solve every problem. In a silt out, a powerful beam reflects from suspended sediment. The diver sees a wall of bright particles, but multiple lights still provide redundancy before visibility collapses and can be used for communication. Cave divers use light signals to gain attention, indicate direction, warn of problems, and coordinate movement. The fifth issue is propulsion technique. This may sound minor compared with cylinders and regulators. It is not. Standard flutter kicking directs water downward. Inside a silty cave, that flow strikes the bottom and lifts sediment. Cave divers are trained to use techniques such as the frog kick, modified frog kick, shuffle kick, helicopter turn, and controlled backward movement. These techniques reduce disturbance of the bottom and allow the diver to maneuver without destroying the team's visibility. Proper trim is equally important. A diver swimming with the feet low creates a continuous sediment cloud. One diver can reduce visibility for everyone behind. 5 divers can magnify the effect. This means a team may enter through clear water while manufacturing the silt out that traps them on the return journey. The sixth issue is team size and control. 5 people inside a deep cave create logistical complexity. The group stretches across a greater distance. Communication becomes harder. The lead diver may not see the final diver. A problem at the back may not immediately reach the front. Turning the team around takes time. Passing information through light signals or physical contact becomes difficult in poor visibility. And when the group reaches a restriction or confusing junction, not everyone sees the same thing. The person in front may see a clear passage. The person behind may see only bubbles and fins. The group is physically together, but each diver experiences a different cave. This makes leadership and pre-dive procedure essential. Who leads? Who follows last? What is the order? Who carries the primary reel? What signal ends the dive? Does any diver have the authority to turn the entire group? What happens if the team separates? What pressure triggers the return? These questions must be answered before entering. The cave is not the place to negotiate them. This brings us to the MV Duke of York. Following the deaths, the Maldivian Tourism Ministry suspended the vessel's operating license while authorities investigated the circumstances surrounding the expedition. A suspension is not a final declaration of criminal guilt. It is an administrative measure designed to halt operations while regulators examine what happened. But it raises serious questions. What dive was described to the passengers? Who authorized it? What was written in the vessel's records? Were all participants included in the official documentation? What qualifications were checked? What equipment was supplied? Was the site treated as a recreational attraction or as a technical cave? Were depth limits discussed? Were weather or current conditions considered? Did anyone aboard possess the authority and responsibility to cancel the dive? Investigators in the Maldives and Italy may eventually assign legal responsibility, but the broader industry question extends beyond the courtroom. A diver can make a reckless personal decision. A guide can make an unsafe decision. A vessel operator can fail to enforce limits. A group of experienced people can normalize a plan because no one wants to be the person who refuses. Disasters occur when these failures align. The equipment does not object. The cave does not issue a warning. The ocean does not check certification cards. The final opportunity to prevent the dive exists on the boat. Before the cylinders are worn. Before anyone descends. Before the entrance appears. Someone has to say that the plan, equipment, depth, and environment do not match. After the tragedy, the recovery operation demonstrated what this cave actually demanded. The Finnish specialists reportedly used closed-circuit rebreathers, underwater scooters, substantial backup systems, detailed planning, and extensive surface support. They performed multiple long dives over several days. They were not exploring casually. They were conducting an extreme recovery mission. That difference reveals the scale of the original risk. If a highly trained international team requires sophisticated equipment and operational support simply to enter, locate the victims, and return safely, then the environment cannot reasonably be treated like an ordinary guided recreational dive. There is one final development that has deeply affected the technical diving community. On July 18, 2026, technical and cave diving instructor Adam Jacoub died following an unrelated technical diving incident. He was known as an educator and a voice within the technical diving world. At the time of this video, few verified details about the incident have been released. Its exact circumstances, location, and cause remain under investigation. His death should not be folded into speculation about the Maldives case. It is a separate tragedy, but the timing has intensified the sense of loss within a community already confronting the deaths in Dakunu Kandu. Technical diving knowledge does not make a person invulnerable. Experience reduces risk only when the diver, the equipment, the plan, the team, and the conditions remain inside a carefully controlled margin. The moment that margin disappears, the environment can overwhelm even highly capable people. The Maldives disaster should not be reduced to the claim that the divers simply made a wrong turn. A wrong turn becomes fatal only when the systems designed to correct it are absent or insufficient. A guideline could provide direction, redundant gas could provide time, appropriate finning could preserve visibility. Multiple lights could protect against equipment failure. A conservative decompression and gas plan could preserve options. A properly controlled operation could prevent an unsuitable dive from beginning. Remove enough of those layers, and one navigational error becomes irreversible. That is the real purpose of cave diving rules. They are not traditions created to exclude ordinary divers. They are lessons written by previous accidents. Every redundant regulator represents a failure that has happened before. Every backup light represents a diver who once lost the primary. Every guideline procedure represents a person who could not find the exit. Every gas reserve represents an emergency that took longer than expected. When divers ignore those systems, they are not proving the rules unnecessary. They are betting that none of the original reasons for those rules will occur during their dive. Inside the Maldives cave, several may have occurred together. The exit became difficult to identify. Visibility deteriorated. The group entered a dead-end area. Gas supplies declined, and there was no simple vertical escape. The divers carried scuba equipment, but the cave demanded an entire survival system. The tragedy is not that one device failed. It is that the layers capable of preventing a navigational error from becoming fatal may never have been there.